Hello, folks. I wanted to do a short video today on what I think is the best innovation film ever made, Moneyball, with starring Brad Pitt. Now, why would I bring this up? Because to me, educating people about innovation has to be a little bit fun. And that's what this is all about because it has really great, well depicted, well acted scenes related to almost every aspect of innovation, the full cycle. So let me talk about it briefly. So, innovation tends to happen not proactively, it tends to happen when there's an emergency. And the Oakland A's under Billy Beane were suffering from just having lost two of their main stars to the New York Yankees. And, they have many constraints in terms of budget related to who they can go out and hire as baseball players. So, the dynamics of the major leagues are such that the rich teams tend to raid players from less wealthy and less well-resourced teams. So, gosh, doesn't that sound a lot like, corporate America or even global competition related to innovation? So the emergency came up, and Billy Beane, the manager, had a mandate, which is an important thing to have, to move forward with an innovation project, which was basically to rebuild the team for the upcoming season to see what he could do with it. And he realized that he had to make a change. The emergency wasn't going to be answered by doing the same old thing. So he discovers that there's a new system or there's a new technology that applies to baseball and how to measure it. And it was a book that was written by a guy named Bill Janes. And he finds an employee of the Cleveland Indians, the character that's played by Jonah Hill, who is familiar with what they call Sabermetrics. And this is, by the way, all based on a true story. Although the movie isn't like 1000% accurate, it is mostly accurate in terms of like what really happened in the real world. So, of course, when Billy Beane and his assistant, played by Jonah Hill, decide to implement a new system at the Oakland A's, they encounter massive resistance to the cultural change required to adapt or adopt this new system. So Billy Beane's hiring all these kind of misfit but potentially high potential, low cost baseball players, and the scouts and the coaches are all going nuts because it's not the way it's done in the baseball industry. And watching that pushback and the scenes of Philip Seymour Hoffman, who plays the coach, is just really classic drama, and it's a lot of fun. And so, of course, as they progress down into the season, there's all sorts of despair and doubt, which always happens in an innovation project. There's that moment where you hit the wall and you think, "Gosh, this is never going to work." And there's that pit of despair moment that happens in every innovation project, which of course happened to the Oakland A's about halfway through the season, when it sort of appeared like it wasn't going to work. But Billy Beane and his assistant doubled down, and in spite of the fact that there were a lot of emotional issues, both with players, coaches, and themselves personally, family issues, everything fogging up the innovation picture, trying to prevent this massive change to address the emergency from happening. And then, of course, finally they start to catch on, and the system starts working, and they have this incredibly inspirational set of scenes in the film where they have this longest winning streak of Major League history, the Oakland A's, with all these misfit players. It's really inspirational, and it's fun to watch. So if you want to give your innovation team maybe a fun impromptu workshop, why not watch this film together and talk about how it relates to your innovation issues? If you need a facilitator for that, I'm available. All right. Go watch Moneyball, and for extra credit, go watch The Founder with Michael Keaton, which is also a pretty darn good innovation film. All right. Happy weekend, everyone.